Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you another project pan update. This is a year-long rolling style project 10 pan that I've been focusing on for the entirety of 2023 so far. I've set myself various types of goals dependent on the product itself, and I've just been enjoying using products through this project, rotating through my collection, and using up some items as well. I am so excited to share with you what the month of September looked like for me on these 10 focus products, so let's just hop right on into it. I have worn makeup 25 times since the last time that I sat down and shared with you my progress in this project pan, and I think that you will see on the screen that I have actually had pretty substantial uses on a lot of my focus products because I've been reaching for makeup so often, and I have been making really good progress because of that. So yeah, the first couple products I want to talk about are actually items that I do have usage goals on, and I like to set myself these types of goals in this project so that I have the option to kind of rotate through things and make sure that I'm reaching goals, but also these are the kinds of items that sometimes I often overlook. Sometimes I just totally forget to reach for them. So it's really good to get a good chunk of usage out of them. And this item in particular is no exception to that rule. This is the Melt Ultra Matte Gel Liner in the shade Cultura, which is a gorgeous Dijon mustardy kind of shade. I wanted to use this 20 times through this project pan, and previous to today's update, I had it in the project for 2 months, and I had used it 11 times. Now in this third month of having this in the project pan, I've used it a total of 17 times. And in those 17 uses, the product itself has changed a lot in here, because I've used it not only as an eyeliner, sometimes in the waterline, sometimes as like a wing, but other times like today, I've worn this as an actual like full-on eyeshadow base or kind of like a cream shadow. And there will be no problem whatsoever for me to actually just finalize those last 3 uses in this next month. It will take me no time at all. October is like the perfect time of year to be using this beautiful gel liner, and 3 uses will go by so easily. So next update, this most definitely will be rolling out of the project. And I'm really happy to just look at this and see how much it has changed and how much is actually getting used out of it, because it's something that I thought was fun and interesting, and I kind of wanted to almost like savor it for special occasions back in the day. But these days, I just want to use what I already have, and I really enjoy seeing this getting more and more use out of it and really seeing that it looks loved in my collection. I also set myself a goal of 20 uses on this product right here. This is the Vesca Beauty Moonlit Dream Cream Eyeshadow in the shade Lyra, and this is a beautiful liquid shadow. It's super sparkly, a really great kind of neutral shade that goes with so many things. And yet it's something that I oftentimes just find myself forgetting to reach for. So 20 uses felt like a really good way to ensure that this got some great use this year. I have only had it in the project for 2 months, but prior to today's update, I had only used it 3 times, which I was really disappointed in myself for only using it 3 times in that first month. So I set myself a goal in the month of September to really try to use it more. A minimum of 5 uses is what I wanted to reach, and I've actually used it 7 additional times. So I'm at 10 uses. I'm halfway to my goal of 20 uses on this. And today I really do feel like there's visually a difference in here. When I shine my flashlight through from behind from my phone, I can actually see a difference. So I have made a new marking, even though I'm not really like anticipating that I'm going to see major change in those 20 uses, but I am happy to see that I've actually been able to kind of move the product down. Even though it's just a small amount, that's better than nothing in my eyes. It's actually getting used up, which feels really good. So this will stay in the project, I think, for another 2 more months in order to hit that 20 uses. Next up, I have this teeny tiny little lipstick sample, but I've been wanting to use more of my samples this year, so I wanted to put this into the project pan, especially considering that this is a more challenging kind of shade for me. This is the Fenty Icon lipstick in the shade the MVP, and even though I've used it 13 times, I still have quite a lot of product in here. I actually sort of am starting to feel like it's going to take another 13 uses maybe to actually use it up. And yes, it is a minuscule amount of lipstick, but yeah, I don't know what is going on, why I'm only at 13 uses with it, even though I've had it in the project for 4 months. I don't know. It's just a challenge for me. I know I'll get this done by the end of the year, and I'm happy if that ends up being the case. That's really all I can ask of myself. I don't want to be using this as an everyday lipstick. This is something that I cannot take out and about with me, so I haven't been wearing red lipstick when I go out for drinks or dinner or whatever. I just don't bring this because it's super awkward to reapply. And so that probably is in part why this is so slow going for me. But nevertheless, I'm making red lips more oftentimes a part of my makeup routine, and that feels good. I think in these next few months, especially going into the colder months, I will be wearing this more as a cream blush as well, maybe mixed with some other cream blushes or lipsticks from my collection. But slow and steady with this one. I've been working on this lipstick right here for a couple of months now. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hot Lips 2 in the shade Angel Alessandra. In my last update, I had the tiniest little nub of lipstick remaining in here, and I'm really happy to say that I now have it completely flush with the packaging. So as you can see there, it is completely flush. I've used this so much over the last few months. I'm so happy with this amount of progress, and I am going to keep working on it. I know that for many people, this is kind of when they call it the end. I totally get that. It is way harder to use a lipstick when it's like this. But in the next couple of days or so, I'm actually going to dig into this. I'm going to repot it into another pan so I can use it more so as a cream blush and maybe wear it on my lips on occasion when I feel compelled to do so. But I think it's going to be a beautiful cream blush for the early parts of fall. And who knows, there may not actually be that much lipstick in here. One thing to note is that these are refillable bullets, but I can't actually see what remains in the tube because it's fully opaque here. But that is something that I do think is actually quite a nice little perk of this packaging, is that you can refill it. You can purchase a different shade to put into it instead. I'm gonna dig into it, repot it, see where I'm at, and hopefully in the next couple of months, I can get what remains used up. Next time we kind of talk about this project pan, this will have a whole new context. But I think I can finish up this lipstick by the end of the year, depending on how much farther down it goes. So yeah, I think I will post that probably as a short. I'll share with you where it's at. And hopefully it'll only be a couple more months time before this is done. However, I do love this color. I love this formula. I've been really enjoying using this. It's such an easy, everyday kind of lip for me. So I will miss it, but I'm also looking forward to the prospect of using it up because lipstick is so hard for me to use up. Last in the lips category, I have my Colourpop So Juicy Plumping Lip Gloss in the shade Stuntin. And this is such a fun product to kind of keep track of because the product settles in here. So it's so satisfying to watch this dwindle down. When I started off the project pan, or when I first rolled this rather into the project, which was only like 2 months ago, I was at this point, I was just about at that halfway point in the product. My goal is to finish it up, and I have been making really great consistent progress throughout this project pan. And as you can see now, I am right down nearing the kind of bottom quarter of the product. I think based on how I've been making progress from last month to this month, it will still take me 2.5 to 3 more months to use up, especially considering the tube is at its widest here at the bottom. So 2.5 to 3 months I think is totally fine. It will be an empty before the end of 2023, and that will be really great. I'm so happy that I've been focusing on this. This is a huge amount of lipstick also. It's 12 grams of lip gloss rather, not lipstick. And so it feels really good because yes, it only counts as 1 lip gloss empty for me, but it's a lot of product. It's like 3 times some other lip gloss formulas. So yeah, making progress, and this most definitely will be an empty before we round out the year, and I'm so happy about that. Let's quickly touch on my Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer in the shade Light 6W. This is something that I just rolled into the project only 2 months ago, so I really haven't had this in the project very long. I do technically want to finish it up, but I know I'm not going to be able to do that by the end of this year. I just know for a fact that that won't happen for me. While I have been reaching for this relatively consistently, it's not something that is an everyday part of my routine, and it's definitely not something that I use a large quantity of when I do reach for it. It really is something that I just use like 1 single pump of. I mix it actually with a cream bronzer to get the right kind of tone for me right now. And so a little just goes a really long way. I really like very minimal, if nothing, on the skin these days. So this is something that I just am using very, very sparingly. I was unable to make a new marking in my last update, and truly today I feel like it's a stretch even to make a new marking. I was trying to shine my flashlight through this and see if anything's really even settled, and no, I feel like maybe it could be marked there like a centimeter down, but realistically I don't really see a huge difference in this. But this is also not the kind of product that really settles down. It's all kind of still in the sides, as you can see here. So it is really hard to get a real true gauge of where I'm at with this. But even if it's a little bit farther down, with the rate that I've been using it, I just know that this is something that actually cannot be done by the end of this year. And truly, it is something that is on the cusp of expiration. I've had this for over 3 years now. I have noticed a little bit of a change. It's separating a little bit more in the tube. It has a slight change of scent where it kind of smells a little bit more like paint. And so this may end up just having to be a declutter by the end of the year. So I'm really trying to just use it as much as I can in advance of that. So I'm just gonna keep using it through the remainder of the year. Hopefully, as I unfortunately begin to lose my summer tan, I don't have to mix this with something else, so I can use a little bit more volume of it. But we'll see where I'm at in the next couple of months' time. Another Colourpop product, actually, this one is the pressed powder shadow in the shade Tea Garden, and she has substantial pan. There is a lot of pan, not a ton of product remaining in here. I've been using this for a couple of months in this project now, and month by month, I am noticing a huge difference. It is really beautiful. This product is like one of my favorite eyeshadows because it's just this beautiful, shifty and just dynamic eyeshadow. It has a deep kind of red base, a greeny gold kind of shift to it. It's just delicious and super flattering and just easy to pair with so many other eyeshadows, in my opinion. I've just been absolutely loving it. I did wear it on my nails once previously, and I think in the next month I want to do the same thing in order to use, again, another huge amount of volume of this. And I think that I could actually have this done by my next update of this project if that ends up being the case. If I use this to do a manicure, maybe 2 manicures, this would be gone for sure. As you can see, there's really not much. I was able to hit pretty substantial side pan, and I'm really just picking up product on the very edges of the pan now. So yeah, this should be done by my next update. If not the following one, most definitely it'll be done. 2 months ago, I rolled in my Cheekbone Beauty Mattifying Moondust powder. This one is in the shade Translucent, which I think is actually the only shade that they have available in this formula still. But this is just a translucent pressed powder. My goal is, again, loosely to finish this up this year. Realistically, I don't know that that is something that is going to happen for me. I just want to ensure that I'm using this as much as possible, and I really just want to track what this looks like month after month. That's really what my true goal is with this, is to just monitor it and see where I'm at and ensure that I'm getting use out of it. I have been reaching for it. It is something that has become a little bit more of a regular part of my routine. I wouldn't say I reach for this every single day, but it's a great kind of touch-up powder when I do feel like that's a necessary step for me. It's a really good setting powder as well under the eyes and on the face. It's just not something that I use every single day, but I'm enjoying it, and I have noticed the pan expand, which is fabulous and really something that makes me feel super happy. And then in the same update that I rolled this in, which I think was only 2 months ago, I also rolled in my Becca Sunlit bronzer in the shade Capri Coast. I kind of have the same sort of feelings towards this. This is something that would be nice if I could finish it up by the end of the year, but if I'm realistic with myself, I don't necessarily think that that is doable. I just want to keep this in the project through the remainder of the year and keep ensuring that I'm making progress. And I've definitely been doing that. I can see that the pan has expanded quite a lot, especially since I rolled it into the project. And even in this past month, I can see major change in it. I'm really happy that month after month, the pan is growing on this. I'm seeing less and less product available in the pan, and that feels really good to me because it's hard to use up bronzers. Bronzers take a long time, and yeah, it's just something that feels really good to see notable change on. I'm actually watching the pan expand, and I've been putting in the work and making that happen. So I don't think that this will be done by the end of December. I could surprise myself and make that happen, but I've also been enjoying not using this as my one and only bronzer. I've been enjoying dipping into my other bronzers in my collection and playing with those in tandem with this, but prioritizing this one. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, it's going really well. I'm really enjoying reaching for it. The formula is really nice. The texture is so nice, and watching the pan expand is really gratifying. My 10th and final focus item in this project pan is one that I rolled in my last update of this project, and it is my Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic. This is the Swish and Pop blusher in the shade Ecstasy. I kind of want to try to hit pan on this. It seems like a stretch to me, but maybe I can make that happen. When I rolled this in, it definitely didn't look like it was doable. Even still, there's no notable dip or significant difference in the product, but I have noticed here where the two kind of colors merge that this is a lot more flush in this section as opposed to on the other side. It kind of still has a little bit of like a ridge between the two products. So I'm thinking if I sort of try to concentrate my brush here in this region, maybe I can make that happen. I'm not convinced that pan will happen in this year, but I'm gonna work towards that goal. I'm gonna use this as much as I possibly can in the next few months with the goal of trying to hit pan, because no blushes in my collection currently have pan on them, and I really want to remedy that. This is one of my older blushes in my collection. I've had this for I think 3 years. I think 3 years at this point. And so I just want it to look loved. I really do. So hopefully I can make that happen. I think in the next month, 2 months, I'll know if that's actually going to be an attainable thing. But where it stands right now, it kind of seems like a long shot, if I'm honest, but I'm gonna try. I am still going to try. So that's where I'm at with my 10 focus items right now. Unfortunately, I was not able to hit any goals, but I do feel like I've made really great progress. And next update, I'm anticipating that, well, one, the lipstick is gonna look entirely different. So we may have some really great progress on it in that next month. And then on top of that, I'll most definitely hit my usage goal on my melt eyeliner. So that will for sure be a rollout after October. And then I think if I really do try to use my Colourpop Tea Garden eyeshadow as much as possible, I think it could really be an empty, which would be a huge accomplishment for me. It would be amazing if I can make that be an empty for my next update for this project. But that's kind of where we're at right now. This was more of a progress month. This was a month to really just spend some more time with these products, get to know these products more, and understand kind of how the last quarter of the year is going to shape up for me. So that, my friends, is absolutely everything. I would love to hear how your project pans are going. Please let me know. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.